Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Think on This with Mental Health America Lakeshore Podcast. And I'm your host, Keegan Reines. In this episode, I wanted to give you a little background about who I am, why I'm passionate about mental health, and what I really hope to do with this podcast. So I am the education coordinator at Mental Health America Lakeshore, which is a small nonprofit dedicated to supporting mental well-being through education, advocacy, and connecting individuals with the help that they need. Most of what I do falls into the education category, and that's really what I'm hoping for in this podcast. I myself have a long personal history with mental illness, specifically depression, both in myself and many people around me, which is why I'm so passionate about this work. The way that I see mental health care is that it's really still in its infancy. And sometimes it feels a bit like the Wild West, so it can be very difficult to navigate, get the help that you need, and find what works for you. When you break your arm, it's typically very easy to diagnose and find the right professional for you. But in mental health, it is usually not that simple. Because of that, I wanted to start the Think on This with MHA Lakeshore podcast. I want to help pull back the curtains of the mental health care field and have candid conversations about mental health and what you can expect when you are looking for care. We will take a broad look at the world of mental health in the hopes that through these stories, we can provide much needed clarity on this subject. Some of these conversations may be a little difficult for listeners due to the nature of these topics. If you are ever feeling overwhelmed, I invite you to pause the conversation and take care of yourself. There is no need to power through this podcast, as you can always come back to it later. Please be aware that nothing said here consists of medical advice, and if you are struggling with a mental illness, please reach out to the appropriate professional. And lastly, I wanted to take the time to thank you for listening to this podcast. Our vision is that through these conversations, we can create mentally healthy communities where all individuals thrive.